This podcast is brought to you by Fin24.com.
This is Unzipped, Fin24's technology podcast, and I'm Jane Menzies.
And I'm Simon Dingle. In today's show, we chat to Siphiwe Chireka, an analyst from Frost & Sullivan, about the ongoing mobile interconnect debacle. And then we chat to JP van der Spey, an online entrepreneur from mytrade.co.za, about the prospect of PayPal coming to South Africa.
Okay, and now we cross over to JP van der Spey, CEO of MyTrade, to chat to us more about PayPal and what it'll mean for South Africa.
So, JP, we had the news this week that FNB is going to roll out PayPal in South Africa. There have been other payment solutions available to South Africans. I've used MoneyBookers for one, which does a pretty good job of paying out into your credit card. How big a deal is the fact that PayPal is coming?
First of all, let me just make it very clear that there's only been a lot of speculation about FNB rolling out with PayPal in South Africa. For the past couple of years, there's been a lot of different viewpoints on whether or not and why PayPal is not allowed to be in South Africa and why it hasn't been accepted in South Africa as a payment merchant. But how it will affect the South African market, pretty interesting question. The South African market has been, for the last 7-8 years, the banks has kind of gotten involved in terms of providing internet entrepreneurs with internet payment solutions. But the problem is we don't have a dedicated payment wallet. That is what something like PayPal would provide to the South African public. In other words, we can buy and sell overseas and locally, which you weren't able to do for the last couple of years. The main problem that we as internet entrepreneurs have in South Africa is the problem that we are allowed to spend a lot of money overseas and bringing a lot of items via PayPal, using PayPal as a payment solution, but not being able to accept money from overseas. And with only 5 million internet users in South Africa, and only about half of them using the internet, to buy stuff, you're looking at about 2.5 million people that we're allowed to sell to. So, the term, there's a lot of fish in the sea, doesn't really apply to the online industry.
Okay. So maybe let's just clarify this for people wondering about it. PayPal allows you to send money to other people very easily and to accept money from other people. It was in South Africa initially, and they pulled out because they couldn't handle our banking systems, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
South Africans can have PayPal accounts. They can even receive money to them, but there's no way for them to cash it out into South Africa, whereas other services like MoneyBookers have allowed that. So if you wanted to accept online payments in South Africa, you had to have a merchant account with your bank, and then you had to pay an e-commerce provider to set up a credit card gateway for you that would allow you to accept payments from virtually anywhere in the world. Is that right?
That's 100%. That's exactly what's been happening. But as mentioned, with 1.8 billion internet users around the world, and we're only allowed to sell to about 2.5, is almost a disgrace. And I think the Reserve Bank should have, and the government should have stepped in, long before there's been speculation. I mean, this has been going on for years already.
Yeah.
And, some people said that it almost felt like PayPal's blacklisted South Africa, almost like, South Africa, or Africa as a whole, is a high-risk area, which shouldn't be the case to start off with. And then, you obviously have the Reserve Bank that says that PayPal doesn't meet their Forex requirements. Hopefully if FNB, if they are able to roll this out to South Africans, you're going to have so much more money coming into South Africa, because that's what they don't realize, is that, South Africans are spending 1.2 billion rand overseas buying stuff through PayPal, but you've got no money coming in. And, in retrospect, the Reserve Bank, their job is, a big part of their job is to make sure that the money comes into the country instead of going and leaving the country.
Yeah, I'm surprised other departments like the Department of Trade and Industry haven't been involved as well. The one problem I do have is I'm an FNB customer, and I expect that any charges they associate with this PayPal account are going to be not going to be very high.
Yeah, well, you see, this is also another question, is that PayPal's got their own charges, and now with FNB rolling out, what I've heard from Christopher Mills at iMod, in his blog he mentioned that they were pretty upset and furious that the news of FNB rolling out with PayPal came through. And I think the reason for that might also be that you're looking at about four different banks, 5 different commercially banks in South Africa. And, if they're the first people to roll out and the only people that are interlinked or integrated with PayPal at the end of the day, then they are getting the benefits, because now PayPal's got a charge and they have their own charge. So that's the other way. If PayPal does come to South Africa, are we gonna end up spending or giving away 10% of our earnings on PayPal? So that's another question that comes to mind, even if it does roll out through FNB.
Okay, I'm going to take things right back to the beginning.
Go ahead, Dad.
I have no clue what is going on.
Okay.
Right. Okay, PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you to do sort of payments over the internet
Yeah.
with overseas countries.
Well,
countries overseas.
PayPal is like a middleman almost. It's a regulating body almost for the payment between two credit cards, between the merchant and the consumer.
Okay.
So in other words, you've got a PayPal account, and I'm selling something online. You want to buy what I'm selling.
Right.
Okay, so PayPal is the middleman in between that.
Allows me to do that. Right.
So in other words, you link up your credit card, I link up my credit card. Mine is a merchant, yours is a consumer. And then you owe me $10 and you pay me $10 via PayPal, but that money goes into the PayPal account, and then from PayPal it comes into my account. So they can basically regulate exactly, how much money is going on, how much going through, and it also provides you with a simple platform that should have been easily available in South Africa years ago already, where a buyer can pay a seller, or our business, for instance, is online auctions.
Yeah.
And I mean, this would make our life so much better. I mean, not my life, but obviously our users, the buyers and the sellers.
Okay, so now in South Africa, have we ever had something like this? Simon, you were saying we have.
Well, MoneyBookers has provided these services to South Africa.
So what's the big deal?
You see, one thing that you've got to remember is it's got a lot to do with user base as well. PayPal is the largest, most widely accepted and used e-commerce payment platform.
Okay.
So when you sell something to an international market, most of those people kind of they already think that you have PayPal facilities.
Okay.
If you have a MoneyBookers facility, the difference then is that they have to sign up for a MoneyBookers account, or you need to have a credit card payment solution where they can pay directly with their credit card.
Okay, so by introducing PayPal into South Africa, we'll be making everyone's lives a whole bunch easier and opening up ourselves to receiving more money from other countries who also use PayPal.
Indefinitely. That's why I said it's really a problem for entrepreneurs. It leaves a bad taste in entrepreneurs and businesses, small businesses in South Africa, especially online businesses, about not being able to receive money, because currently the way you're going to have to receive money is either through something like MoneyBookers, which is still quite a mission, to be honest, and PayPal is just, it's a million times better, in my opinion. But the difference is that you're going to be able to receive money and instantly. That also makes a big difference. Because currently, if someone's paying you from overseas, they need to get your SWIFT account number, and they need to do a transfer. It takes a week and a half to get into South Africa. And once you get a payment into South Africa, you still need to go to the bank to sign some, forms to kind of get the money paid into your account, which takes another, about a week.
Yeah.
So if PayPal, if they're able to interlink or integrate PayPal with the South African banks and provide it commercially, to South African merchants, I mean, you're going to see a huge expansion into the global market, because that is what kept. There's awesome entrepreneurs in South Africa, but the problem is to expand globally. The payment side of things, it's really been a headache.
That was JP van der Spaes, CEO of mytrade.co.za, and that's it for this episode of Unzipped. I'm Jade Menzies.
And I'm Simon Dingle.
Cheers.